Hey there, the other video was running kind of long, so I decided to break it up into two. This one is specifically on the comment that you made about, um, what was it? Deform tools. So, I can't remember if it was 2015 or 16, but Maya has integrated a lot of its sculpting features from Mudbox. Of course, that it's not nearly as efficient, but the basic functionality is still there, which you guys can take advantage of. Um, so this is just a sphere that I smoothed a couple times. What's cool is that we can hold shift, right click in object mode, and then there's a sculpt tool up here. Always do the sculpt tool with the options so you can get your sculpt tool little toolbox up here. But once this is up, you can go in and you can sculpt just like you would in any other sculpting program. Of course, just like any other sculpting program, you are bound by the limitations of your mesh. Similar to dealing with just strictly polygonal modeling, like you guys have been doing, you can only do what your geometry is going to allow you to do. So we can see that if I start pushing this out, crazy, mucho, far, we start getting all this distortion and stretching. So, of course, work within the limitations of what you have, but with this, it won't be hard for somebody to just block out a general form of something and then being able to accent it with sculpting. So let's just feed me, Seymour. Okay, so sorry, it's getting a little weird there. Brilliant. This is art. And I am doing this with a mouse, so please forgive me. Um, yeah, so the sculpting tool is there for you to play around with. I highly recommend playing around with it, especially if you were going to be playing around with Mudbox or ZBrush or anything else in the future to understand the limitations of your geometry and certain considerations that need to be made. Um, so another way to play around with deformation is the non-linear tools. Um, Before this was kind of like an abstract group inside the file system that I think it was under animation, but now it's actually they got it all underneath a deformation drop down. So right here, this non-linear, I've used this so many times to get um, just little tweaks to geometry, smooth bends. I'll show you real quick. So where is my? There it is. Okay, so if I go into wireframe or not, there we go. If we go into wireframe, we see that when I created a nonlinear bend deformer, it created this curb um, spline right down the um, center line of my mesh. So if I have that selected and I go over to my channel box, I see that it has an input node. So the low bound, high bound is going to be able to adjust pretty much the max influence of either end. And the envelope, well, I think that's just an overall intensity. 0, you essentially turn it off. 1 is its full effect. So the curvature is going to be the real winner of the day. So when we select it like that, all of a sudden we have something like I don't know, a door handle, drawer handle, kettlebell handle. But a good thing about this as well is that you can animate this. This is complete. This noodle completely animatable. So if I set a key, nope, that's not a key. If I set a key there, and then if I go over here, I set a key here, just with this deformer. Now if I scrub through my timeline, we got animation. So these little deformers are really handy in this regard because it's not anything that's baked in or destructive, as they say. But you do have to be careful because anything past the modeling process, when you go to delete history, Uh-oh, where'd it go, right? So deleting history will nuke all of those some more advanced nifty tools that you've got established. The good news is that you can just go to delete non-deformer history. So once we do that, we see that we still have our bend in there. We still have our keys. That's very important to keep aware of. Anything in the deform, delete non-deformer. So they just with how they word it and how they categorize it, they've been able to make these things pretty clear. So the deformer menu, um, some of the strengths of using it versus just using soft select, which I use soft select all the time. Don't get me wrong. This is just more of a nifty tool that has some extended features. But if you don't need those features, I mean, you can just delete history. We got the sculpt tool, which can help you create some fine art. All right, I've wasted